Are budget saunas really worth it? Let's review the cheapest sauna options on the US market and let's explore what you can get with $3,000 to $4,000 or even less. So are you on the edge of buying a budget sauna? You are wondering, is it worth it? Should you do it? Your budget is less than $5,000 for the sauna project? Let's discuss. So let's review the cheapest saunas that I found, why these are cheap and are they really worth it. So first we have the almost heaven Bluestone 3-person steam sauna, which is like a small indoor sauna, and it costs $3,000, which is incredibly cheap. So what's wrong with it? If we want to look for negatives, I'm sure you can get a good sweat in the sauna, but let's explore why it's so cheap. So first of all, you have to sit very close to the sauna heater, and sauna heaters emit high amounts of radiant heat, which does not feel the most pleasant. So the heat distributes in sauna in multiple different ways. First of all, it distributes through the sauna rocks that have high thermal capacity and they slowly give out the heat. Then the heat distributes through the materials. So all of the sauna materials absorb the heat into them and then they give it out during the sauna going. And then through the heating elements as radiant heat waves. The closer the sauna heater you sit, the more you will feel this radiant heat. So in this sauna, because it's so small, you have to sit very close to the sauna heater, which means that you will get exposed to that radiant heat. Also, the sauna heater has low rock capacity, so you get the best possible steam when you have a lot of rocks, because then the temperature of each rock can be a little bit lower in general, and in that way you will get that nice and equal steam. When you have very little rocks, every rock gets very hot, can get like 700 degrees Fahrenheit or more, and you get this sharper steam in your sauna. But definitely if you just want to heat your sauna up, 4.5 kilowatt KIP heater will do it for 100%. You can fit few people in here. Something else I want to say is that you need to circulate air from the room that the sauna is placed on into the sauna. So that won't be the fresh air that you should circulate into your sauna in the most optimal situation. So in the most optimal situation, you should circulate the air from outdoors into your sauna. And here, I don't know how this is ventilated. I'm not actually sure if it's ventilated at all. I hope it is ventilated somehow, but I can't see any ventilation. It says steam, eye-catching details, heater, shipping. Maybe it's not actually ventilated at all, and that's pretty bad, because then you will have hot air sitting on top of the sauna, because hot air is lighter, so it doesn't weigh as much as cold air, and cold air sitting on the bottom of the sauna. So your feet will be cold and your head will be hot. So if it's not ventilated, you will also run out of oxygen after a short amount of time in the sauna, but maybe it's decent. Let's read a few reviews and see what people have to say about this Bluestone 3-person steam sauna that goes for $3,000. Put it together as a fun Saturday work project, so probably easy to put together. My wife helped. It's better than the large saunas at the gym, more private, etc. We installed in the garage cement floor. Works perfectly. Okay, someone is very happy. Many people are very happy considering, probably considering the price of the sauna. So then here is someone saying it doesn't get as hot as it says. I purchased because it's supposed to get 185, so I'm disappointed. Takes over an hour to get up to 170 to 172. So probably the 4.5 kilowatt heater might be too small for this sauna, but I'm not sure. So sauna heaters, when it's correctly sized, the sauna will reach the maximum temperature that the heater is limited to. And this kind of heater should be limited to 195, but I don't know. So people seem to be pretty happy. So price quality ratio might be good, even though it's not the most optimal. Then we have the Morgan 4-person barrel sauna. So the problem with this is that, and with all of the barrel saunas, but especially this barrel sauna, is that you have to sit again close to the heater. And if you want to lie down, you are either cooking your head or cooking your feet, because of course the air is hottest close to the sauna heater, because that's what heats up the sauna. Then you will have hot air sitting on top of the sauna and cold on the bottom, which does not create the most optimal sauna experience. And again, you have a heater with low rock capacity. However, ventilating this kind of sauna, you can just make a few ventilation holes on your own if this doesn't come with it. you can create a solid ventilation and not run out of air. Again, people are pretty happy. 334 have given 5-star review, but just for more content, let's read the worst reviews. These are mostly like customer service, heater problem, faulty heater. This is pretty much like weird. So the KIP should be pretty reliable, but maybe the 6 kilowatt KIP is, I don't know, that's strange, just strange. What about some decent 4-star reviews? What do they say? Hassle with delivery company, well, Costco can't do anything about that. So, the water might leak through the roof. Okay, so you have to seal the roof. So in the optimal situation, you can put some shingles in the roof that are a bit higher in barrel saunas have, but might do a decent job. Next up, have Almost Heaven Princeton, which is 6-person steam sauna. So this is exactly the same as the Bluestone, but this is bigger, which means that you can sit a little bit farther away from the sauna heater. Again, I'm not sure about the ventilation, but this might give you a decent sauna experience. And yeah, you actually, you probably have vent holes there. So if you are thinking about between 6-person and 4-person, maybe the 6-person does better. And again, people are relatively happy. Many of you are not so snobs. As long as it gets hot, that might be enough for you. So many people who have bad reviews say that customer service is poor, something is missing from the package. But overall, I think the sauna does the job. Benches are not sturdy. Okay, so benches are not sturdy, though they're a little bit flexible. That's not the most optimal thing, but I think this is okay. If I was about to get a cheap sauna, if I just wanted to sweat and go into a hot room, I would personally get something like Sweat Tent. And I'm not affiliated with this company at all, but you can get this kind of tent very hot. You will definitely sweat in there and you will get discharged.
Okay.
So I would probably get just like a sweat tent and then maybe later get a more proper sauna. Super easy to set up, does its job, and you can get some steam and heat with $1,500. So again, none of the best principles in the sauna design are met with this kind of sweat tent, but it definitely does the job. So in case you are budget restricted, you want just a cheaper sauna, just want to get sweating, get yourself, let's say, a Morgan barrel sauna or something like that, $3,000-$4,000. If you're not on a budget, I obviously recommend, if you want a barrel sauna, something like Sauna Life EEHG, which has few levels of benches, and you can get a great heater like Boom Drop with that, and it's just better sauna experience. But in case you just want to start sweating and enjoying sauna cheaply, these can be great options. So that's what I think about the cheap saunas available in the US market. If you want to learn more about building a sauna, if you want to learn more about saunas, you can join the Sauna Society, which is a free community where I will be teaching you everything you need to know about sauna construction and building a perfect home wellness sanctuary. Link for the Sauna Society is in the description. See you inside.